Before we begin, I just want to say that I really am confused about what these worms are gonna do. I mean, worms are even less evolved than ants. Oh, I always want to say I want to think of this episode like similar to Awesome Ants, with like a nice, like, I don't know, for some reason these two like insect-related episodes are very combined, very similar in my mind. And I seriously, oh my gosh, what if the worms got huge and then it'd just be like Dune? And then in the end, Todd ends up riding the worms.
Now we are ready for battle.
That would be really exciting. That would be really exciting. But that's probably not going to happen. That's what I want to happen in this episode. That's ideally, best case scenario, this ends up being Dune.
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
But yeah, the worms start playing tricks on their own. I don't know if they start their own like I'm picturing they like we're going to move out on our own and start our own worm circus. You can't tell us what to do, Todd. Go through a rebellious teenage worm phase. Who knows? Let's find out. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. I spread my wings and I fly away. I believe I can soar. Yes, I would like to update now, because I know that it won't run if I don't update Silverlight. Now that I've updated Microsoft Silverlight, shall we begin? Okay, that's a good idea, Chloe. Is it bad that now I watch the intro and it's like I can see, like, I'm like, oh, I saw that episode and that episode? Oh.
Worms can't feel anything.
They can't. They don't have that kind of nervous system.
Can't you see we're on the brink of a scientific breakthrough?
You're gonna cut worms in half, kid.
It's me, Dr. Wormenstein.
She's doing so much better.
Worms! Must have been something it ate. You wrecked it! I hate you!
Yeah! I agree with her!
I'll get you for this time, you'll be sorry! Ooh, I'm so scared.
You should be. You just wrecked that girl's project. Like, worms do have a gross texture. And even if they're fake worms, having them all dumped on top of you, that's disgusting. Okay? And you ruined her Robin. You know how freaking long that thing would take to make? And you just dumped it with worms? What a douche brother move. I hate you, Todd. They're gaining intelligence. You should really keep track of your worms, man. Like, you're gonna be finding worms all over your house for the rest of your life. That's just gross.
Regina, the time I put a handful of night crawlers.
Dude, I think you have a strange obsession with worms and, like, torturing people. Dude, you didn't look at your food before eating it?
You're my best friend. Not anymore.
Oh, snap! Friendships fall apart over worms. Wow. That must have been the weakest best friendship ever if it's just like, you try and serve me worms one time! You serve me worms one time! We're done.
It's gotten worse.
I think it's about as worse as you can get. There's not that much, like, worm memorabilia you can collect.
Wouldn't let a judge treat your client like that, would you? If you were
This kid, I hate Todd so much.
Crazy about
Even worse than Noah.
Oh, no science fair. No way.
Is that seriously a punishment? Just start off by saying, you know, I got 15 minutes left in this episode. And right now, To me, I just don't see how worms could, actually do you any kind of damage or terror. If I may, I'm going to reference the I think it was 1972 the film was produced in. It's called Frogs. I do believe we tried to watch it together, but I did sit down and watch it. It is the most 70s thing I've ever seen. The brave hero, Pickett Smith, is terrorized by all kinds of wildlife creatures, and people end up mysteriously dying through various accidents and snake murders and all kinds of things. The only thing I would say is missing from the horror movie Frogs is the fact that a frog never killed anyone. Not even a group of frogs, not even a room full of frogs killed someone. The closest they came to killing someone is I do believe they threw themselves against windows so hard they broke through the glass, and then they just started hopping around this room till a poor old man in his wheelchair fell out and had a heart attack because of all the frogs that were in the same vicinity. I bring this up because I feel like that's what's going to happen with the worms. It's just going to be like, oh, they're everywhere. Oh, we can't stop them. But, I hold higher expectations of that from Goosebumps. So I expect these worm-based shenanigans and life ruinings to continue. I just hope that at some point it does escalate to actual death via worm. How'd they get under his head? How you not waking up, kid? Again, they're just worms. It's weird that they're there, but it's not worth, screaming about.
I didn't do it. Honest.
Clean up the worms and go back to bed.
Okay.
Now.
You gotta believe that some kid wouldn't put worms in his own bed. Okay? Because if he did, he wouldn't wake up in the night screaming in terror. You don't need to prove that you are trying to terrorize yourself. It's pretty obvious. Again, I'm gonna say, this isn't, I get, it's worms, it's but it's again, they're just worms. They're simple invertebrates. They don't even have a fully developed, what is that called? Feeling system. Oh, way more worms than there was there moments ago. Check the whole bed, man. That's a lazy cleanup job. Super lazy cleanup job.
Let's just say I'll need more worms.
This kid, can we just stop and say, I get, it's all about worms, it's episode styled Go Eat Worms or something, but, this kid's actually obsessed with worms, and not just worms, but tormenting specifically women with worms. Girls his age and below and worms is basically this kid's only interest, and not girls his age and not just worms, but it seems that the combination of them is the only thing that can bring him true pleasure in this world. And that's kind of an issue, almost to the point where he's kind of a psychopath. I'm gonna say it again and again and again. I don't like Todd.
I like the sound of it so far. Tonight I'm going down the lake.
Also, their whole friendship here is based on torturing girls with worms. That's their that could be summarized every activity they desire to do. He's like, you want to go eat pizza? You want to go play video games, watch videos? Won't win his friendship back. But then, of course, once he talks about torturing girls with worms, it's like we're biffles again. What's the plan? What's the shenanigan? What we gonna be about?
I'm gonna be very sorry.
Not as sorry as you are when me and Beth cream you at the science fair.
That's right. Attack him on a higher academic plane, ma'am. That's classy.
Worms on the brain! Worms on the brain!
It's not a good taunt.
Worms on the brain!
That's just stupid. You're insulting your own intelligence. You gonna threaten the worms? Show him who's boss? That's right. Stroke the dirt. Why? Why are you hunting for worms at night? You could have done this earlier. And why down by the lake? Worms are everywhere. You don't need to... The kid knows jack squat about worms in their natural habitat. You could measure my seat and find that I am very much in the middle. I'm not sitting on the edge of my seat in this episode. I find it rather dull. Mostly because I really hate Todd. Have I said that enough? Really hate this kid.
I hate you!
But, yeah, so I'm just, like, waiting for what Todd has coming. But he doesn't got much coming to him. He and his best friend, they're best friends again. You know, sister still hasn't even got him back. She's like, I'm gonna get you at the science fair. And she will, because she probably does have a project that doesn't revolve around an obsession with torturing stupid animals. So, I'm just gonna say that falling into this cavern is the closest thing to something exciting that's happened so far this episode. That was a face of real suffering. Kid oversold it. How far could he actually have fallen? Not very far. What is with Goosebumps and their need to have insects roar?
It sounds like stegosaurus.
What is this place?
Disco.
Ride it, man! Ride the worm!
They are ready to fight, yet in order to lead them, I must conquer the worm, conquer Shai Halud.
Is it eating him? Is it just sitting there blocking your way? Worms don't even eat meat. What are they gonna do to him? Stare at him? They don't even have eyes.
Todd.
That's right.
Todd, are you okay?
The worm. The giant worm. It grabbed me.
Your terrifying monster just got scared off by a fake bird. Really? Scariest. I feel like that happening really, like, causes your whole, like, this is really scary, can't stop it, to really fall apart. So now Todd can't wake up from the dream and discover that giant worms have taken over his entire life. Also, wasn't he supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere earlier? Why is there a street light here?
Beth. I can't believe he'd wreck his clothes just to play that dumb trick. What can I tell you? He's nuts.
What are you doing out here in the wilderness? Don't dodge my question. Don't keep doing that stupid taunt. Tell me, what are you doing here in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the night? Todd was at least doing it for some kind of worm-based science. He had a reason. Okay, a stupid reason. Super loosey-goosey reason, but he had a reason. Why are you here? You little girlish twerps. You gonna go be normal, Todd? Gonna go be like a regular kid? Is that really the sound 100 worms would make if they were all in a bucket together? Really? Oh my gosh! The sequel, the minnows come to get him. Oh my gosh! The sequel, the minnows come to get him.
Don't worry, it's a stupid little minnow. They don't feel a thing.
Oh!
So now what are you supposed to do?
Total sequel.
All we need is a few experiments. How long can fish live in hot water or cold water? How long can a freshwater fish survive in salt water? Stuff like that. Isn't that kind of cruel? I mean, like, making them suffer like that?
Kid, you're sadistic! You're just ridiculous, kid! You tried to do this to worms earlier, basically almost saying the exact same thing, and now you're doing this to fish? It's like... You don't get it, Todd. You're just a stupid punk.
Have a bite of your sandwich, okay? My sandwich? I thought it was your sandwich.
Oh, he gonna get pulled in! By the fish! The fish is fishing for humans! They're humaning!
Gonna make me swim back?
Really? Let's talk about that ending. Okay, so there's two things you can really take away from this. One, this kid is obsessed with not just worms. She's so done with worms. he's like psychological and obsessed with just being sadistic and just cruel to whatever he decides to take an interest in. So let's be glad he doesn't take an interest in like people or friends or girls, because he'd be like, we gotta be scientific about this friendship. Let's see how long you can survive with a total douche for a friend. Secondly, those fish, see you know that you've upgraded the animal. Like, you've upgraded intelligence in animals, where worms, it took them, what, how long is this episode? To 21 minutes. So it took them, and this, just like, so it took them a couple days to finally get their big worm shenanigan together. How long did it take that fish? Well, first of all, they freaking made a sandwich in like 3 minutes. Like, bravo. Bravo. Those fish made that sandwich. And that's impressive. They have to go to the store and get bread. They have to, like, dang. So the fish made a sandwich. And then they put a hook and line through it. That's just great.
Do we have worm sign?
Who shall we have worm sign, the likes of which even God has never seen?